Alors Cyril Gordigiani et David Guetta.
At the time, the DJ was really like nothing, you know. I was working the two best clubs in Paris. In one club, I was in the basement and all I could see through a little hole was the feet of the people. In the other club that I was working in, I was in a different room. So I would play a record, open the door, come out, look at the dance floor, how the people are reacting, and come back to my room. This is to tell you that the DJ was never the center of attention at that time, at least in my country. In '88, I went to London. I went to a club called Shoom. I saw the DJ. He was on stage, all the lights on him, and everybody was dancing and looking at him. It was all about the music, all about the DJ, and just dancing, nothing else. I went to the boss of the club where I was working, the gay club, and I said, look, there's this new musical movement and Tuesday is empty. Would you let me play it if I'm gonna promote the night myself? And it got very, very successful, basically copying what was happening in America, you know? And then, of course, I got into the culture and discovered, you know, who is playing this music.
But you've got loads of different stuff going on in there.
I started as a DJ. I've been DJing since I was 14, and I've learned on the way how to produce. This album, I wanted to do something completely different from anything that I've done before, and I think Dangerous was quite a statement.
Yeah, totally.
What I used to do is almost make one beat every other day, more or less, you know, and during the weekend, play them, try them, keep the ones that are giving the best results on the dance floor, and then writing on the top.
Okay.
This time was really more about the songs themselves, about the emotions, and it's been like starting by the songwriting and then getting into production and turning it into a dance record.
For you, once you've made a track, do you know in your head that you've got a #1 record?
Okay, so you don't know how much of a hit it is, you know, but already to have a record that you love, that's one, you know, first step, and then it takes time. So the way I do it is that I would do like 40 or 50 records,
okay,
and out of this select 15 of them to make an album. Out of those 15, then I'm listening to the album like every day, and I kind of realize which one stands out, or, you know, doesn't get old after the excitement of, you know, listening to it for the first times. And that's how I choose my singles. Even after all those years, picking singles is the most difficult exercise.
Sam Martin, now you've obviously got a very good ear for new talent. How did it come about you guys working together?
Every year I go to LA for like 2 months, and I don't really tour. I just stay in the studio, and as a famous DJ or even someone that would make a good living out of it. So that was a pretty good idea. You know, it's really crazy because I started to DJ in my bedroom when I was 14, and then in my school. Then at 17, I started to DJ in a club. I've never done anything else. So I've worked around music by becoming a club promoter. So I guess if I was not a DJ, I would be probably working in a record label or in a club, probably. When I'm home, I love to listen to old soul music. Like, you know, Marvin Gaye, Aretha Franklin, this type of stuff. So my life is not normal at all. So basically, before I was totally unorganized, and I would constantly go back and forth around the world, like in the same week. And of course, I would be completely exhausted. So now my life is a little more organized. So I divide my year in 4. And it's according to where I work. So right now I'm living in Ibiza because I'm based there, and I do only Europe shows. And then after, you know, I go to London and I give 4 months to my family. And then I have Dubai when I do Asia. And then I have Los Angeles, that's when I do songwriting. So I don't have one home, I have...
Les rêves, David Guetta est toujours dedans. Normal, il vient juste de se lever à 15h passées. Le concert s'est fini à 6h du matin, mais son avion l'attend déjà. Direction Moscou. Son succès, David Guetta ne le doit pas seulement à son talent derrière les platines.
Bien.
Il est aussi compositeur.
Et là, et après... Ouais, mais c'est là
c'est là où il faut.
Avec son ami Fred Rister, il profite de chaque trajet pour créer de nouveaux morceaux.
Non, mieux, il y a mieux.
Ouais, il y a mieux.
Et pour les fabriquer, ils ont juste besoin d'un ordinateur et de ce petit clavier.
Ah, excuse-moi, fausse note.
Ah mais c'était le...
Ouais,
Le
ça
tâteur.
causait la route, hein, c'est pas moi. Vas-y.
Chaque lieu, chaque voyage deviennent des séances d'enregistrement. Et sous nos yeux, en 10 minutes, une mélodie prend forme.
Voilà. Et ça, en fait, c'est comme avant un multipiste. Ça aurait été un énorme enregistreur à bande comme ça qui aurait pris une place de fou.
Son dernier album, composé dans les taxis et les avions.
Crazy. I can't forget that
Oh,
one.
wow.
But let's talk about the death of EDM, because interestingly, I mean, you must have noticed a shift in the house music scene, especially this year. It's kind of gone a little bit more future house. The likes of like Oliver Heldens are coming through with that new sound. Is this something that you're going to maybe experiment more with, or not?
The thing is okay, different things. First, I saw it coming, but I felt like first I did this before.
Yeah.
Because I've been in the game for a while, and I was playing house music in the 90s.
Yep.
And to me, it didn't feel as much as I love house, you know, but to do this myself again
Yeah.
doesn't feel as exciting because I've done it
You've
so
done it,
much in the
yeah.
past. And the other thing is, I like to be ahead of the curve, and I felt like, okay, they're doing this. I didn't feel like trying to jump on the boat in the middle of
It's
the
nice
cruise.
to hear
you know
that,
what
though.
I mean?
Yeah. So if you're saying you're always ahead, which you clearly always are.
Thing that I'm very excited about. So I made a double album, and one is pop, and the other one is called Jack Back Project, and it's completely underground. So for me, it's really exciting because this is where I come from. But you know, with the evolution of my career, I'm ended up making those huge radio record, and sometimes I miss just the simple grooves and underground tracks that I used to play in the clubs, and so I'm starting this. This is still secret. Actually, I never spoke about it on air yet, and that's the secret. I'm starting like a side project when I'm doing underground music just for the love.
You did several adjustments and you changed it a lot of things. Did it come out exactly the way you planned?
Well, every time, you know, it's a lot of work to make an album, and the more album you make, the more difficult it is. I've been successful, and I always want to keep that level of quality, you know, and every time I made an album, it was always better than the previous one because I'm always learning, you know, and I want to keep on learning. Clairement, c'est nuit, moi. Ça fait longtemps que j'ai choisi et j'arrive pas à changer.
Because you've crossed over from being a house DJ to now producing stuff for top 40 artists. Have you been criticized a lot, I'm sure, by...
Well, actually, there was two types of reaction in my community. The main reaction was more by the people like me, like producers, DJs. Everybody was actually very happy because, you know, our music, it's been a fight. I've been a house music DJ for like 20 years, and like, you know, like radios would not play our music, and TV would not play our music, like the police would come to stop our parties, you know, so actually most of the scene is more like happy that it's going so well for all of us, but then there's always like people that think that we should keep it on the ground, and but it's also healthy, you know. I used to be like this, you know. I think the music snobs, they're good. They're useful because they also make things go forward.
Yes.
In the same way, you know. I think it's the combination between big names and underground that makes, you know, our music so big right now.
That is true. I agree with that, keeping an open mind. Is there one track that is so brilliant, that you think is so brilliant that you wish you produced it yourself?
Oh, there's lots of them.
Just one.
I don't know.
He's friends with everyone. It's hard for him to pick.
That's difficult, you know. But
how about one track that you wish?
I think you know, like probably my reference, my all-time reference, would be a Thriller from Michael Jackson.
Oh,
like, you know, an album that has no fillers. Like each record is a monster.
Yes.
So that's always for me like a kind of a benchmark. I'm like dreaming of, you know, making an album that is. Yeah, you know, but of course, but every successful person feels like this, you know, and sometimes, sometimes you want to go back to how you felt when you were a beginner.
Yeah, you didn't care as much what people think.
Because you know, when you start making music, you just make music for fun, and success is an accident.
Yeah.
And you know, and I'm trying to, when I made this new album, 7, I was like, you know, I want to get back to that state of mind.
Yeah.
So, you know, I love making timeless music, huge songs, having, you know, I have I'm blessed enough that I can work with those huge artists like, you know, Sia and Justin Bieber and Nicki Minaj, all those people. But I also want to make some dope beats to play in the club.
Yeah, of course.
And making hits is what I do. So I'm not so concerned about this, but what I want to do is making hits by having fun.
Yeah, enjoying it. Yeah, going back to the start.
And I feel like if I'm happy making music, people are going to be happy listening to it.
Absolutely.
A night in clubs and whatnot.
But yes, you're right. It's kind of a big, but the reason is, it's not only about me. The reason is, I was on the peak of a musical movement that was at the time very small, you know, and it happened that, you know, I progressed inside that musical movement, inside my scene, but also our scene became the biggest musical scene on the planet right now. So obviously, you know, it's a big thing for me.
What do you think was the catalyst for that?
I think I had a role into it, you know, when I created that bridge between electronic from Europe and urban from America. I think that was a very big step for our music to cross over and to also get the attention from the medias in the US, which is something that really helped, because America has so many amazing artists that when they embraced our culture, you know, it brought also something extra to it.
Yeah, definitely. But how do you get those, like, because of course, exactly what you said when you started, you know, bridging the dance and the urban. But those are two worlds that are so distinct. You know, dance music was distinctly European, distinctly clubby, associated to gay culture. And the urban movement is exactly the opposite. How did you gain their trust? Who was the first artist that said, David Guetta, stamp of approval, I like what you do?
The very, very first one was Kelly Rowland. I was playing in a club, the instrumental of When Love Takes Over, and she came to me and asked me what this music was and that she wanted to write on it, and I was pretty amazed, you know. And on the same week, it's kind of strange, but on the same week, will.i.am texted me on my mobile and proposed me to produce for Black Eyed Peas.
Wow.
And our first record together was I Got a Feeling.
Just that.